Police found in this home on Terraview Drive. And what Governor Inslee signed that could affect your local schools. Murrow News 8 starts now.
From broadcasting studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Ava Wainhouse. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
Hi, I'm Chris Mitchell. The Centers for Disease Control relaxed mask guidelines Tuesday. Vaccinated Americans do not need to wear masks outdoors even when around large amounts of strangers. Even the unvaccinated can go outside without their mask depending on the situation. Masks are still encouraged for large events that contain venues such as concerts or sporting events. Infectious disease expert Mike Sag said, quote, "It is the return to freedom," unquote.
We continue our coverage of the CDC's new guidelines. We have our reporter Josue Cuevas live with more.
Thanks, Ava. So yeah, I'm out here on campus where, as you can see, it's a beautiful day. And if you're like me and you are fully vaccinated with one of these vaccine cards, you can come out and enjoy the great sun, have a picnic per the new CDC recommendations. Now, I, for one, am super excited to enjoy the sun and take this thing off. That's all I got. Back to you guys in the desk.
Washington State University's Office of Compliance and Civil Rights is now accepting applications for next year's Student Feedback Committee. According to the Daily Evergreen, students across all WSU campuses review policies and procedures and provide feedback on how the office can be as welcoming as possible for students. There are no requirements to join the Student Feedback Committee, but the CCR director says the office prefers passionate individuals to join, as they provide more commitment to the group. Students who are interested in joining can apply on the CCR's website.
Governor Jay Inslee held a press conference today where he signed many bills. One of the bills addresses the use of Native American imagery at public schools.
This House Bill 1356, it prohibits Washington schools from using Native American names, symbols, and imagery as mascots, logos, or team names unless a tribal government has approved.
WSU is beginning to financially bounce back after complications due to the pandemic. Since 2018, the university flipped an annual operating deficit of close to $30 million and a surplus of close to the same amount. At the end of the 2020 fiscal year, WSU had a positive operating balance of $28 million, nearly $8 million more than in 2019. The Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine was key in the school's support.
A drug bust on College Hill landed 2 Pullman residents in jail after authorities allegedly found nearly a pound of methamphetamine. Pullman police received information on narcotics trafficking at a place on Terraview. The police reportedly found a pound of meth, packaging materials, scales, other drug materials, and several $100s in cash. 60-year-old William Ortiz and 50-year-old Nadine Reiber were arrested with possession of meth and intent to deliver.
The Pullman PD says they are receiving reports of a person prank calling Pullman businesses and threatening them with fines for COVID-19 restriction violations. The person identifies himself as Michael Donenworth on the call, but officials say no such person works for the city. As a rule of thumb, the county will never contact a business about proclamation violations.
As students here in Pullman are looking forward to an in-person fall semester, the University of Idaho has announced they will begin moving towards in-person instruction starting this summer. According to Pullman Radio, the summer semester will be a transition period in Idaho, including a mix of remote and in-person activities. The plan as of right now is for U of I to have classrooms at 50% capacity, and students can expect fall semester to be normal in-person schedule with conditions permitting. The Student Entertainment Board's next virtual concert will be Wednesday, starring Lucky Day. The LA-based R&B singer is best known for his 2019 LP, Painted, which received a Grammy nomination for Best R&B Album. Lucky Day will do a live performance with his full band via Zoom, and you can register at tinyurl.com/seblucky.
Coming up, what a high school vice principal threw at people at a restaurant, and the U.S. Census results came out. We'll tell you what this means for Congress next.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs. but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
According to the Associated Press, the FBI has begun to probe into the police killing of Andrew Brown Jr., a black man from North Carolina. Brown's family had released the independent autopsy where it was shown that he was shot 5 times, once in the back of the head. The Civil Rights Investigation will work with the Department of Justice to, quote, determine whether federal laws were violated, unquote.
The U.S. Census Bureau announced yesterday that the total population of the United States has topped 331 million people. According to CNN, this marks the country's second slowest population growth rate. Results found say Texas will gain 2 seats in the House because of the redistricting process. And Colorado, Florida, Montana, North Carolina, and Oregon will each gain 1 seat. On the other hand, California, Illinois, Michigan, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia will all lose congressional seats. These changes are coming ahead of the 2022 midterm elections.
A middle school vice principal in New Jersey threw a beer at transphobic restaurant customers. According to AP News, the patrons were sitting at an outdoor table at a restaurant and filmed Vice Principal Michael Murrow's transgender wife and complained about her using the women's bathroom. Murrow apologized in an email to the Associated Press saying that he regrets throwing his beer at the patrons.
I'm definitely looking forward to that 77-degree weather we're seeing for Thursday. Alex, what do we have for the rest of the week?
Thanks, Ava. You know, I mentioned yesterday that today was shaping up to be a great day, and boy, did it turn out that way. Some beautiful weather today here in Pullman. As we can see, a high of 62 today and a low of 41. Some beautiful weather here, as I mentioned. 10-mile-per-hour wind, so a nice cool breeze on a spring day. And as we make our way into tomorrow, that breeze will stay around, but the good news is it's only going to keep getting warmer. A high of 67 for tomorrow, a low of 47, but some nice warm weather. And we're getting closer and closer to that 8 p.m. sunset, so we're getting closer and closer to summer. We're going to make our way here to the whole state right now. We're going to start on the west side in Seattle. Some really nice weather in Seattle today. Yesterday was a little gloomy, a little cloudy, but some nice partly cloudy weather on the west side with a high of 61. Similar in Olympia, a high of 60 today, a high of 62 in Olympia today. So some really nice weather. But where the weather has really been great in the state is in central Washington. As we make our way over to Tri-Cities, a high of 73. Some amazing weather in central Washington. And in Yakima, again, a high of 70 degrees. So central Washington is really hogging up that beautiful weather. As we make our way over to eastern Washington, there's Pullman, as I mentioned it, a high of 62. In Spokane, better weather today, 65 degrees. Yesterday was a little bit rainy, a little bit gloomy in Spokane, but some really nice weather in Spokane today. And I'll make my way off the screen as we go to the 5cast here. And as you mentioned, Ava, 77 degrees on Thursday. We're shaping up to be really good. Friday, 71, Saturday, 66, and Sunday, 61. So overall, some really nice weather. Something to be on the lookout for seniors. Friday, the drive-through graduation, 71 degrees. So the weather is looking pretty good. Hopefully we get a little bit more sun, but it should be good for Friday. That's all I have for now. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Alex. Coming up, we'll tell you which pitcher won the Pac-12 Pitcher of the Week award again, and we'll have an update on the matchup between Pullman High School and Shadle Park High next.
Hello, I'm Tiara Trell with your sports update. The undefeated Pullman Greyhounds host the Shadle Park Highlanders today in a battle for first place in the Greater Spokane League. Pullman leads the state with over 15 runs per game. They have mercy ruled every opponent this season, and amid all the success, first-year head coach Kevin Agnew says he likes the team's attitude coming into the true test against the Highlanders.
I like the way that we've come out and competed hard, and you know, I think we've been pretty classy too in the way the kids have handled that, because when you have lopsided games, you know, things can get away, things can get ugly, but our kids have handled that with a lot of class.
The ball game got underway at 4 p.m. from Martin J. Kwan Field, and Pullman is currently leading 9-4 in the top of the fifth. WSU baseball heads to Spokane to play Gonzaga. The Cougs enter the week with a 19-15 overall record after taking 2 of 3 at Cal this past weekend. The Cougs are second in Pac-12 in hitting and doubles, are led by first base Kyle Manzardo and pitcher Zane Mills. The Cougs are set to play at 6 p.m. Speaking of Zane Mills, he has been named the Pac-12 Conference Pitcher of the Week, following the win at Cal this past weekend. Mills retired the first 8 hitters he faced before Cal reached a fielding error in the 3rd inning. The Portland native enters the week leading all Pac-12 pitchers with 42 strikeouts. Mills also earned Pac-12 honors following his 13 strikeout performance against Seattle U in March. Seattle Mariners lose 5-2 to the Houston Astros last night. Mariners got solo homers from Kyle Lewis and Kyle Seager, but went 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position, losing their 2nd straight game. Seattle starter Justice Sheffield allowed a career-high 12 hits with 5 runs. Seattle Mariners are currently playing the Astros with a score of 0-0. Next, what was all the excitement over the moon about last night?
We'll tell you all about it right after the break. Last night, the first of the only 2 supermoons of 2021 rose across the globe and is known as the super pink moon. If you missed the moon last night, you can see some video captured of it on your screen, and you may think because of its name, the supermoon was supposed to be pink, but according to NASA, the name has nothing to do with the moon's color. The April moon got its name after the herb pink moss, which is one of the earliest spring flowers to bloom in the United States. The next supermoon is scheduled to appear May 26th.
Thank you for watching.
Have a great night.